time for Neanderthal.
Neanderthal podcast. Podcast is always in my head.
Listen to Neanderthal.
Hit it up, Czar. In 3, 2, 1. We are with Whiskey for the Lady. That's the lady right there.
Woo, that is the lady right there.
Right here?
Right there.
Right here.
This is a first for. Can you guys hear me all fine?
Yeah.
We're good? Okay. This is a first for the podcast. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 guests at once. Czar behind the scenes, and then me. That's a lot of people in one studio.
Cram packed in here. It's great.
Yeah. Thank you guys for being here.
Thank you for having us.
Appreciate it. This is.
Having us out.
Yeah. So I hear you guys have an interesting story about just the whole backstory about your band. I had a interview with Phil, band member, and they alluded to a bit of a story about the whole backstory. Is that something you guys are comfortable talking about or no?
Oh, yeah. I'm sure we can get into it. Just depends on how far back do we go.
Yeah.
I mean, everybody's got their own individual musical backstories that kind of led us to this place, but I mean, I guess me or Mal can kind of give the sort of early roots of the band, and we can pass the mic from there.
You guys want to talk about what kind of band you guys are first, and then we'll tell us how you guys kind of got started and kind of the story.
I mean,
how would you
anyone wants to
describe your
field that
music?
question?
What kind?
We're just kind of an everything band with all acoustic instruments.
An everything band with all acoustic.
We describe it as metal grass. So
Metal grass?
There's a lot of in quotes.
Grass,
of what
grass, punk grass.
like we don't.
Punk
we don't,
grass?
Yeah,
I like
punk
grass.
I like
Yeah.
punk grass.
So-
That's a cool sound.
punk
Yeah.
metal kind
You've
of
even gone a little,
arrangements with
Grasshop.
Grass.
yeah.
Sure.
Oh
Don't
yeah.
ever say pop grass, or we might actually get popped in the process.
Oh, we talked about
Pop.
doing like our next album is pop, right?
Yeah.
Didn't we talk about that? Maybe
We
that was
Pop?
just in
Those
Phil.
are ideas.
It's like pop grass, yeah.
Yeah, you know, like soda and cola.
No, I know what you mean. Yeah. How about I got a twist for you. How about K-pop?
That would be a little more difficult.
Yeah.
Does that mean
Cheap
Kansas
pop.
pop? Because we're on the Mississippi.
yeah, I can't.
Korean. What is that? Korean pop
Yeah,
or
I'm not down
J-pop?
for learning a whole new language.
No.
No Gangnam Style.
All you do is yell.
Barely
Just-
down for learning.
That's all we do anyway.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Metal would be a lot of yelling.
We're
Yeah,
sort of
there's a lot of
that. We work that in quite a bit.
A lot of yelling.
I think the arrangement. Is
Who's the singer?
I do a lot of the singing, and then we all take turns sort of singing other stuff too. So
I think
Yeah,
Frank
Phil's
should
our
have a
lead.
turn at a little metal yelling. Give him one, Frank. Hey.
It's terrifying.
Let's say that again, but perform
You see,
it.
you should see the audience's
Hey again.
reaction.
No, wasn't as funny the second time.
No.
How do you get into
Which is funny.
punk grass? Like, how does you figure out? Like, nobody's heard of. Like, I've never heard of that as a genre. Like, how did you come up with this genre of? I mean, it's obviously a different style of music, right?
It's not something we came up with. It's been around kind of underground in this area for quite a long time. There's other bands that kind of pioneered it.
Yeah.
25 years ago.
That long ago.
Yeah.
And it's always been, just what is just punk? Whoa,
It's just
the
punk,
gains
like
are up crazy.
punk and metal sort of arrangements, but with bluegrass instruments.
I was always told it was a guy with 2 records, a Bill Monroe and the Sex Pistols, walking down the stairs. He dropped them. He's like, oh shit, he's got a gig later. He's supposed to be the DJ. He's like, crap. Puts them back together and you wind up with punk. I mean, punk grass. I mean, it's like half of the album's punk, half the album's grass. It just blends back and forth.
I get
Yeah,
it.
that's exactly how we did it.
Yeah, no, yeah, it was. Yeah, stories from like
put a whole bunch of
1934.
CDs in a bag, and then
Yeah.
My
No.
grandpappy told me that one.
we all come from different musical backgrounds, and a lot of us are rock, metal, folk, punk. You know, I mean, it's every side of the spectrum we all come from. So you just put all of our unique styles together, and you get this
Even classical.
stew of
Yeah.
True.
hmm
Yep.
this gumbo of music. You know, it's just a little bit of everything, with all kinds of flavors. And
Well, it's hard that you would get so many different styles to come together for one style. How does that?
I don't think it was on purpose.
therein lies the beauty.
But it was,
Yeah.
it was on purpose, but it was on accident all at the same time.
Would you guys put an ad on Craigslist and said, "Hey, let's put together a punk grass"?
No, our birth was very natural, actually. We sort of started with me and the old bass player of another project that I was in and he was in, just sort of throwing around the ideas of doing some acoustic and some bluegrass style music. And we had another buddy who happened to have a banjo and brought it to jam one night, and he had a buddy that played guitar, and his sister played fiddle, so they brought her to jam one night. Well, it turns out we knew each other from different parts of life, and they were friends, and so sort of this weird circle. And the guitar player, her brother, ended up moving on and doing his thing. We brought in Frank, who's been an old friend of mine since we were kids. We've known each other. He's been in other local metal bands, so we're sort of old family. So we brought in Ike, who was in another band with our old bass player, and so that sort of was a close family. Now this is our bass player's son, who's taken the place of him. So we're sort of this
my nephew in
all family. It's just we've all kind of fallen into our perfect spots like tumblers in a lock, No one really had a choice. We all just kind of fell into our place, and this is what it's become. So.
I got a call from Animal years ago when the first album was being recorded. We need you to do a track for a song, just a drum track. I'm like, cool, get out there, do it. Next day, 10 hours later, after doing something I didn't know what I was doing, just the producer telling me what to do. 3 months later, I wind up with an album. And hey, you're in the band now. So
Wow.
yeah, we all had a choice, but we didn't have a choice. It's like a freight train just hit you, and you just kind of have to
Jumped on.
Yeah, you either get ran over or grab hold, one of the two.
Huh. Well, grab on and hold on tight. You guys have. How long have you guys been together?
We were born
Question.
Thanksgiving of 2011. Our first actual show on the books was New Year's Eve that year, 2011 and 12. So 2012 is our official birth. So we're going
7
on
years.
2019. So yeah,
7 years.
We'll turn 7 on New Year's Eve. Yeah,
It's a long time
it's a pretty good little stretch.
for a band of, especially like a lot of people. Isn't that?
It's
a long
difficult.
time, right? Is it difficult? I mean, they always say it's. Or I perceive a band to be a lot like a marriage.
It is very much
But-
like
It's
5
definitely a
marriages.
But like a sister wives type thing. I mean, you got
Yeah,
Like,
brother
I mean-
husbands.
you got 5 people
Brother
together.
husbands, that's
5,
perfect.
it's a 5-way marriage. Like, how does there's got to be so many dynamics that go along. Like, was it hard at first, or is it hard now, or has everything been?
Both.
I think it's hard all the time. I mean, it's easy.
Yeah.
It's always easy when we're on stage or when we're like
Yeah.
practicing together, but then sometimes it's just hard because we all communicate differently and we're all very, very different people.
Scheduling
Which
things.
is why our music is so interesting, I think. But it also makes it like we're all kind of on different levels of just personalities too, which can be
You guys all got like
fun, and also we butt heads a lot.
9-to-5 jobs type
Yeah.
thing. Most of you guys, all you guys.
All full-time lives outside the band.
So then that
there's-
adds a whole nother.
Yeah.
Yes, it does.
Like how you find time, and I'm sure you guys got families or at
Very
least
basic
family
level.
aspects. Like, how does, man, yeah,
It's all parts of the puzzle that
For 7
you
years.
learn as you go. Really, that's none of us. This project started sort of as a side to all the other things that we were. This was never supposed to blow up or be really anything other than just having some fun and going and doing some random playing some places. And it happened to catch on, and we really blew up sort of beyond our means kind of quick. So we had to kind of rush to fill, what was expected of us, which we did, and we've grown to that level now. But it's just sort of been that learning experience the whole time of, well, this is what we're in now. Let's figure out how to make it work. So.
How'd you blow up? What was like?
Well,
Like when
based on all of our old contacts, we've all been in local bands basically from, for a long, long time. So as soon as word got out of it, we were sort of doing this super group of sorts of
From all of
local
these good bands,
groups,
and then-
yeah.
Yeah, I was in a really good band before this one.
Ah, that's
Church
funny.
orchestra.
The North Platte High School marching band. We did get a lot of awards, actually.
Wait a minute, really? The last band you were in was a high school band?
Yeah. And I didn't
No,
play.
the
I didn't
marching
even play
band.
fiddle. The marching band. I played drums. So.
Really? That's funny. So the
Oh,
only
I
Hired
did
Ike,
do.
you know?
I did do a short performance at the Freedom Festival in Camden Point with the band we put together, and we called it the Dirty Platte River Band. So we did one show.
wow.
Nice.
So that was my first band.
Platte River is dirty. That's good.
Yeah.
So then, like, how'd you guys blow up? That was just from everybody, from all your bands,
Yeah,
from
we
the
we
following
just
from
sort
all
of-
them. You're following. You're following. You're following. You're
we'd
following.
been sort of all playing shows around, and so the people that had been booking us as individuals sort of got word of what was going on and just started booking this project more than sort of our other respective projects a little bit. And
Oh, I see.
I mean,
so
it
you
just-
were. Oh, I got it.
this is the one that got the call when people were calling us to play a show. It was like, hey, can you bring Whiskey for the Lady? We're like,
Well, it
oh.
was right at that height of like the bluegrass revival. Like
Yeah.
Old Crow Medicine Show was really, I guess they're still pretty big, but like they were just hitting their stride, I guess.
I am not in the bluegrass
time.
world
Oh.
at all.
Well,
I know absolutely
they
nothing.
were up
I
in
apologize.
Mumford and
Yeah.
Sons.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mumford and Sons was like huge right then.
Avid
Yeah.
Brothers.
Trampled
And,
by
Oh.
Turtles was just starting to get big.
Devil's
then.
Make
Yeah,
Free.
so people I think wanted to hear that bluegrass.
Okay.
more than
I
other
mean,
stuff at that time.
I know a little bit. I've gone and seen Tommy Emmanuel.
Ooh,
You guys know him?
he's a guitar master, man. He knows what's up.
Dude, that dude's amazing. I've seen him a couple times in concert. That guy is something. He is a fucking wizard.
Yeah, legend for
wizard.
sure.
Yeah, I've seen him. So I mean, I've seen a little bit of that as far as like bluegrass type stuff. So
Well, in this area, it's pretty popular. And like when I was in high school, wasn't too familiarized with it. But then once Whiskey for the Lady started forming, and then all those crazies were coming around, and I was just like chilling in my bedroom, and my parents are downstairs partying with Phil and all these
Yeah.
guys, and like I'm like, whoa, this is insane. So I started hearing all this crazy music, and Phil's actually mostly responsible for my
Yeah.
catalog these days. But yeah, it was really interesting to start hearing it go from like really jammy like rock stuff to, oh, is that a banjo I'm hearing and a fiddle? Like, whoa. So I was seeing it building, and from my perspective, I was
Yeah.
like starting to get really into this and looking up to them for like, whoa, you guys are like pretty epic in my book. And then I see like Mountain Sprout and Split Lip, and then when I got asked to be in the band after my stepdad was, in the hospital and then passed away, it led to me being like, well, hell yeah, I'm going to do this.
Yeah.
Like, I've been wanting to do this and hearing it, enjoying it, seeing it, being a part of the whole scene, and then picked it up and been rolling with it, man. And
yeah,
my hands have been hurting ever since. But
in a good way.
yeah.
But your heart's been full of awesome.
oh, yeah. He not only filled those shoes, he's been busting out of
Oh.
them. So.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes,
Above and
absolutely.
beyond.
Yeah, I know a little bit about the punk scene.
Mm.
I know, they're always known for great parties and just. Are you guys have the same mentality? Is there the same like the punk mentality, but just with different instruments? Like how punk are you guys? You
I
guys,
don't know how punk we are.
you
but
guys
we-
would throw any
Yeah.
TVs through any windows or
No.
anything?
I used to be in a really, really dark band back in the day called Angel Dissection. It was a black metal
Angel
band.
Dissection.
Yeah, not joking.
No, I that
That
sounds.
sounds like a black metal band.
Yeah, it was, and everything was at least 120 to 160 BPM, going as fast as you can, hitting everything I could as fast as I could.
Right.
I was fortunately more athletic then, but that is one of the styles that is part of my individual background. Every single one of us have their own musical story as far as to where we got what we're doing now. And I think inadvertently, since we've been together for as long as we have learned from each other and created our own sound through the inspiration from each of our own styles. I know that for a fact. Things have definitely been an inspiration from individual members over time as far as volume control is concerned, and that's for a live performance. I mean, we're playing acoustic instruments, things like that.
Oh yeah.
So when we
It's hard to
play-
scream. There's one of You're
Right.
screaming over an acoustic guitar. You probably got to figure out
or
what.
play metal in a bluegrass
Right.
band. There's vibrations all over the stage, so it takes patience and understanding and patience and more understanding and maybe some more patience.
Ooh, I like the idea.
We have a lot of energy on stage, but we're not throwing TVs around.
No.
Exactly.
So,
And I think it's like a
less than
punk attitude is like something maybe that we looked up towards when we were younger, and just like that whole era of music that really like you could be ridiculous anywhere you went, and people kind of like looked up to that in a weird way. And now it's like not so much. Like you see someone acting a fool outside of a show, you're like, whoa, calm down, dude. Like, and I think a lot of that for us is that our style, even though it's aggressive and at times at least, there's still kind of that like good-hearted type of crowd that kind of follows suit with what we got going on. And a lot of the Grateful Dead fans, and just basically anyone who loves having a good time. So when they want to come out and have a good time, you don't see someone going as punk style maybe, but we save those antics for the stage. A lot of head banging.
Nice.
Yeah, and I mean, we we break stuff, maybe not intentionally, but
Yeah, we stumble into each other on stage sometimes.
He likes to break his bass on purpose.
yeah.
Pay attention, really.
Yeah. And you said you got some hip hop in there. You guys are starting to incorporate some hip hop.
You know, there's some horizons on the
Funky stuff.
on the bend that we may be looking into for the next few albums. We always are branching out and thinking of the next new thing that we can make our audience look at us like, what?
Yeah.
And that's our favorite thing when everyone's grooving along, but then 10 minutes later they just look at us go, Did
Because
you?
you
I don't
completely
know what
switch
happened.
styles.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, we'll throw something at our audience and just make them scratch their heads and go home with a story to tell. Just you don't believe what this band did. They were playing this crazy fast song and they started playing a Monkeys cover for like 5 seconds, and then they were rocking out again. Like just little nuggets of whatever we can put to make it a special night for somebody. So,
Hey, we're the Monkeys.
yeah, you never know what you're gonna get.
Yeah.
Really don't.
I think that's all I know. Monkey wise. Monkeys wise. They had a TV show.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They did. It was fantastic.
I watched
it
it.
on Nick at Night.
Yeah.
Nickelodeon. And
Yeah.
all the other associated syndicated broadcasts later.
Yeah, I watched it as a kid. I kind of liked it, but I guarantee that shit doesn't hold up anymore. There's no way you can put
I
that
don't
shit
know.
on now and be like,
I
oh,
watched
this
a few
is...
episodes like a year or two ago, and I mean, I still liked it.
I think it's still funny, but it's just
Still
it's
made me laugh.
Very
It's
strange,
dated,
probably.
yeah.
Oh, yeah,
I don't
yeah.
think kids would like it now. They would
No.
get it.
I think they would miss 90% of the humor.
Hey, if anyone's trying to see a rehashing of a show, go on YouTube and look up Phil's old TV show that he did. There's a
right.
lot of
Oh, did you put that up there?
On my, if you go to my Phil Craven YouTube channel, you can find my old TV show, which is a podcast sort of sorts. It was just a local access television show where people could call in, and I would have guests and stuff. I mean,
Oh,
I was
yeah.
technically a live streamer before live streaming was a thing.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I did about 30 episodes out in Tucson, Arizona, and about 5 or 6 of them are posted on my YouTube channel.
30 episodes.
Yeah, two seasons I held up.
I'm a little over, I don't know what number this will be, 31 or 32 or something like that.
Nice.
So, yeah, I had the same amount of time as you did.
That's perfect. Yeah, if you want to see me at 20, 21 years old, acting a fool much like I do
Looking
now.
12.
Yeah. Looking 12 for sure.
You miss those days?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
I mean, my
Looking
TV
12
show was a
days?
hell of a good time. Well, looking 12, hell yeah. Couldn't grow no beard, but no, I had a hell of a good time doing my TV show, and that really broke me into that level of sort of coming of age media. I mean, I literally went and sat in the studio almost like this with a single camera and no one in there, and I was the one in charge of clicking the phone calls and all that fun stuff. And
Listen, this is more than just a single camera studio, sir. We got 3 cameras here.
I know, see, that's what I'm saying. It's
Multiple
amazing how far
angles.
we've come. I mean, sitting in a room, twice the size with
Right.
one giant camera looking at
That'd
you,
be fun.
and now we can do this at home, and
Yeah.
we could not do this at home. Then.
I am doing it at home.
That's what's beautiful,
I mean, it's a great studio here. Definitely enjoy being here.
Appreciate it, man. Again, appreciate you guys coming. You guys, I'm going to use this reference from my last episode that I loved so much. Appreciate you guys being here. You guys didn't know me from a paint. God damn it. A can of paint. You guys didn't know me from a can of paint. Damn.
Hey, man, happy mistakes. Happy mistakes.
I butcher.
Write it down for next time.
There were trees.
Yeah.
Trees.
Yeah, so thank you guys for being here. All right, so crazy. You guys got this whole crazy marriage going of all these different crazy groups. I mean, different styles. But then there's more, right? Like you said, I don't know, man. It seems you said something about your dad. And he's in the hospital, and you just stepped right in. I don't know exactly know what that means, but
yeah, you wanna
it
give-
sounds like
yeah.
there's something more behind. that.
Well, it was quite the heavy point in my whole family's life. Everybody was kind of experiencing that, and I just had become an adult, so I'm out in the real world facing things, and
Yeah.
I was engaged at that point, and it was a very crazy high point in my life. But then all these other things started happening, and he got into the hospital, and he was dealing with some liver issues, and that was having a big effect. So our family was a lot around. Our music family was heavily there, helping
Right.
out, showing support, and then he gets in the hospital. The band still had shows, books leading up to that, through
Right.
that, and so just when he was in the hospital, we still kind of didn't really know what was going on. So I was like, all right, you know, like, what's going to happen is what everyone's kind of thinking, like, just hoping the best for him. Well, they're like, hey, you kind of, like, grew up playing bass. My stepdad, obviously, a bass player, and so I'd been playing in a few bands, but, like, wasn't playing at that point, so they hit me up.
Were you playing upright at that point? Right?
Yeah, I was playing electric bass and drums mostly at that point. So it was pretty cool, and then they hit me up, and instantly it was like we were playing these, like, we played a museum of, like, out in Kansas City, huge museum. We're, like, on the porch, and, like, we're the tiniest little thing up there. It's, like, this magnificent building. It was pretty awesome, and then they're like, all right, we're hitting the road, going out to Oklahoma. And I was like, whoa, like, I've always dreamed of hitting the road and playing music. So.
Yeah. How old were you at the time?
21,
Okay.
21,
Oh my
so
gosh,
I
what
could
a
just start
perfect
actually
age.
getting into these clubs and
But wait, you
doing
said you
this
were
thing.
engaged?
Yeah, to my now wife, Katie, and yeah, so and that was a big part of things. Cause
I'm the only one here that's going, man, you missed out. I'll be
Missed
the
out.
asshole and say, you're 21, and then all of a sudden you're going to all these clubs, and then you're the one that's performing music. Surely you would have had some just
Oh man, well,
opportunity. I'm not saying anything about your wife or anything. I'm just saying, I'm here thinking I would have loved to have been 21 in that position and single. That's all I'm saying.
Oh, and I was
But-
loving every
but I'm a
moment of
different
it
dude.
as far as what was going on, regardless of that. And
Yeah.
my wife was there. Like, she's only missed like 2 or 3 shows out of our entire
Yeah.
time of me being in the
wow.
band.
She's your
And
biggest fan.
She's been, she actually knew my parents before I even knew her, and
I
met
know
her
a
at
long time,
the
man.
CD release show of the first album before I was in the band, and
Nice.
so she already was hip to the music, had the
Right.
album in her car, and like we went and saw Split Lip Rayfield on our first date. So it's like I was like, yeah, she's cool. So
Yeah,
like
nice.
so that aspect totally rad, and I had a good partner with me on the road and stuff, and it's been really cool. But yeah, like after being at that point in the band, I still didn't know if I was like in the band or like, is my stepdad gonna get better? What's gonna happen here? And then one day we just got an unfortunate call that it was getting kind of worse in that progress, and so we're like, well, you just gotta kind of accept it is what it is,
Sure.
So my wife and I actually had some tickets to go see Humphreys McGee out of Red Rocks, and we ended up getting married at that show.
Really?
Yeah, and
Wow.
it was very epic. And so the next day I got the call that he had passed away the day after I got married, so it was just like
Yeah.
up, 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 up.
Boom.
And from there I was like, all right, I'm now the bass player of Whiskey for the Lady. This
Yeah.
is what's happening. And man, it was a lot of hard, like, oh, I'm going to basically learn how to play these songs and learn how to play this instrument in front of everybody. And
Right.
luckily it's been great support. Some
Yeah.
nights harder than others for anybody, but that's just kind of like what I went through. And I'm very thankful for how those guys kind of like supported me through that and
Right. Oh, cool.
gave me a good outlet, It's been great.
How old are you now?
I'm now 24, going on
24?
25.
I met you when you were what?
I was like 10 or 11. Yeah, and Ike was
Wow.
playing in the Angel Dissection, and like my stepdad's like, oh, I met the coolest guy. He's playing in this band in this storage unit is where they practice at, and I'm like,
Everybody does that, right? That was like, is that still a thing? Do people still do that?
They're still a
good
thing,
10, 12
yeah.
years ago.
Never heard of that.
I remember
Yeah.
seeing that all the time
There's a
growing.
couple of them down on the
In a
Kansas side.
metal
Yeah.
storage unit on concrete with the sun on our side the whole time. We would rehearse for about 2 hours, and again, it's the super fast
Right.
stuff, and I'm running on a bass drum pedal. I realize now after calculating it, I did run marathons, and I ran them in the desert. I just didn't realize that I'd put myself in that position at that time.
Right.
Did it for 2 years, and then I meet his dad, and I'm like, okay, this guy's got some hella funk. It was a happenstance meeting years and years ago. Inadvertently, that meeting led to me meeting him 10, almost 11 years ago. So like
Man.
this band technically goes in some thread way the hell back. Not that it was ever intended or planned.
Sure.
It was literally just you can trace a line all the way back to when
6 degrees
Hurricane Katrina destroyed their lives and sent them north. It's an interesting
Hurricane Katrina.
secondary.
Yeah, that's their backstory.
Yeah, it's a deep backstory.
You don't sound like you're from Nolans.
No, man, we got a little bit of that southern groove and crunch and things you hear, but yeah, man, it's just kind of like an attitude of music, really. Like that whole southern idea of just like let the good times roll, man. Just do
Les
it.
bon temps roulé.
Yeah, like you just gotta live that, especially through music, and hope everyone has a good time, you know.
The idea is to make people dance.
Yeah.
The idea is to make people dance.
Yeah.
Make people forget their day for
Yeah.
long enough. Yeah, like I was saying, just give them enough of an experience in a show to escape their lives for that hour or 2 hours or whatever they're at the show, you know.
Even if it's a sad song, maybe they need that for the day. Doesn't matter. Maybe they need to get it off their chest and then have a happy song. So whatever you do at the show, that's the idea. You know, we're meant to really try to influence other individuals through the music and sounds that we create. I mean, that's what every musician tries to do. I mean, whether or not you're successful, you're lucky if you are. Fortunately, I think we're lucky at the present, you know. We've got really dedicated people who love us and have helped us so far.
Yeah.
You know, it's a never-ending story. I'm gonna be punny as hell right now, but when you take into consideration that none of us really knew any of us when the beginning began, and halfway through, and during the middle, but we did know, but we didn't know, and it took all of the journey of all the shows, the heartache, the pain, the new songs, the getting it out, the crying, the losing, the loss, the love, the life, all the other fun stuff that's happened in between, to actually realize what's going on. It's not really us, in my opinion. It's us. It's all of us. You know, it's just...
Is there a force in nature here that brought you guys all together? You guys believe in any kind of like
dude, there's
something that
there's
Don't
some
know
greater
what it is.
hand that was just nudging stuff. Like I said, I personally feel like we're just tumblers in a lock that fell right into our place. I mean,
Lock was already there.
Yeah. And we were just, I mean, almost like his story, you know, he just, well, yeah, I'm a member now, of course. There's no question,
right.
you know, just,
Right.
yes, you are. You know,
It's like I get called
you know.
by Animal.
Yeah, hey, we got a show, you're in the band now. You know.
Producer says go home, come back. 3 months later, hey, you're in the band. What? 2 weeks you got like the CD release show, huh? Where he met his.
well, who
now
put it all
wife.
together? Like who put everybody together? Like who?
I mean,
who
this
decides
project-
It
this?
just sort of happens.
Originally started with me and
But
Animal.
But like how? Like they
And-
just, like two people start working together,
Yeah, it
and then
was
someone
sort of-
says someone
It was
else.
sort of
It
me
was
and
a
Animal
secondary
because
You guys
spin-off
just-
of
we were in the
another-
band
yeah.
and he wanted to start doing some bluegrass and
That's
some
right,
acoustic
okay.
stuff. And so me and him just sort of started talking and then brought in.
That's crazy.
Brought in.
Just
And,
like we're jamming, you know.
Is
yeah,
that
and
how-
it just started as let's
Yeah.
just jam and have fun.
And then
that
at
was,
one point, well, actually, yeah, we had that New Year's Eve show, but it wasn't even supposed to be like a show. I mean, it was a show, but it wasn't like this
Yeah.
is the one thing we're gonna play together. and
It
then we'll
wasn't
go
as
our
big as
separate
like the
ways.
Platte City Band or whatever.
No, it wasn't
Yours.
as good as North Platte High School marching band.
Yeah, definitely different type of practice I felt like was going on there.
Yeah.
But
So we prepared for that one show, and then
Yeah.
we just got another show and another show after that. So then we're like,
Yeah,
okay, I
started
guess we have a
calling.
band now.
yeah, and those times were definitely interesting because it's like even in those moments, it's like I would find myself in the crowd like filming these things happen, or you know, like
Or in the video.
yeah, like in the video, getting on stage, taking off my pants, like all these things that kind of seemed like it was.
It's initiation, right?
I mean, they
Taking
were like
off your
happy
pants?
events, but even
Oh,
these like smaller
cool song
things,
about it.
next thing you know, we're like all in the same stage, you know, doing the crazy things, hitting podcasts. It's really cool. But yeah, like whenever I walked in and heard Ike blast beating away in a storage unit, I was like,
Nice.
what is happening? And then I start hearing just the chuggiest guitars. And you know, it's funny whenever like Frank was introduced into the band, I saw him and I was like, dude, I bet this guy just lays down some heavy metal. And he sure was for a while. So it's cool, like, that we've kind of all taken our sounds and transcribed them, basically. Like, every time I pick up my bass, before I get into that, you know, 1-4-5 method or, like, any type of bluegrass thing, I find myself doing something jazzy or funky because that's kind of where I started off at. I liked the old school funk style,
Yeah.
style, and that's where the grass hop idea came in, and that ties back to like a lot of our family and friends that we give a big ups to for kind of like pushing this thing. There's some people who literally like would be pissed if we didn't do this. We're like, fair enough. I guess we will keep doing it as long as we can.
Still have people that come to our shows that have known myself, him when he was a young man, that have been watching us from the whole entire time. Last weekend in Lawrence, a regular that I've known for years. I've seen him at every time I'm in Lawrence, this person is there for whatever musical project it's ever been. Now this person goes to a lot of music there.
You specifically?
No, not directly. No, I'm just saying that this person has been in the environment that I've been in, no matter what the musical project has been. But I know this person, and he knows me, knows him, knows Animal, knows Cosmic One True, the origin of some of the other contacts here and stuff. And so he has been coming to shows. I have seen him every single time we're in Lawrence.
Yeah.
And
he's like a paid person.
Absolutely.
Like he just, I'm gonna pay. Like, you know what I mean?
No.
He's like doesn't work there.
Yeah, he's a beautiful human being that just loves the music that comes out of the people that we are. And I've had conversations with him, and it's like I'm like, I wonder if he'll be here. And every time he's there.
Just a big fan.
Just that musical support, like I said, that carries over from all of our previous projects.
Gotta have super fans.
You do. There's
That's what keeps us going.
somebody I was
Spreads the word.
looking at different stuff like that to help grow the podcast and stuff like that, and they were saying what you need is, I want to say 1,000 fans, like 1,000 super fans, where no matter what they will show up and pay. So that's really all you need.
Yeah.
1,000 super
Easiest thing in the
fans.
world.
If you know where there's 1,000 of those laying around,
950
Look,
he's got one. So
940.
Trust me, I'm looking as hard for these fans as you guys are.
Well, and that's the beauty of things like this, man. Fans that are of us will come and check you. Fans that are of you will come and check us.
I hope so.
It's the beauty of those networks. We hope. Yep.
Yeah.
We don't gain any fans till they come see us play or we play a song for them. That's people. Some people doubt till they come witness the.
It's all original stuff. You guys do all original, or I mean, you said the Monkees, but like you splash something every
we
now and
tuck in
then.
a few covers, but our covers are always. Well, not always, but we try and do covers that are unexpected.
Yeah.
We'll cover Tool and Nine Inch Nails, Nirvana, Pantera, as a bluegrass band.
A new one.
You know.
What's the band that we're doing?
So that's always fun.
Frog Pond?
Yeah, for
Yeah.
cover.
Try to
Yeah.
cover
Saying
some
it's-
local legends.
in the early days, you kind of got to do a lot more covers to be able to play the gigs that pay some money.
Yeah.
I
You gotta
understand.
be able
Those
to.
gigs Phil and I were getting 6-7 years ago, that was all covers.
Yeah.
When you're a brand new band,
And
you
Catch
got
the
one
Gout.
song.
We'd catch the gout.
Yeah.
One
I think.
Catch the Gout. Beautiful Things was early.
Yeah.
I love music, but I would call myself kind of like, you guys would probably say I'm kind of an ignorant fan. Like if I were to go to see music to like a group I didn't know, I would probably want a cover
Yeah.
done here or there too. I can understand
Which we
that.
put at
but
least
I would
one
understand
almost
would probably,
in every show.
Just
yeah,
about.
I would like
I
that.
think
Yeah.
covers are cool because it connects you. Like if you're not into that music, but you know the cover, you get kind of more connected
Yeah.
into what that music sounds like. So
Then we do it in our style too. So.
Well, that's what's the great.
Right.
That's what's great about covers.
Yeah.
Is taking a cool, great song, but then twisting it in your guys' own style. That's what I love covers.
Nice. We might have to give you one
Yeah.
tonight.
Yeah.
We can do a couple songs, an original and cover maybe. You might,
And
might
it's
be
cool though, 'cause like, you go to a show sometimes where you hear this band and you're like, oh, this is cool, but then like they bust out something that you're so in love with that could like change your whole perspective of that band. And like to me, there's a band called Humphreys McGee, and they like for a while was like kind of known for mashing up cover songs and things like that. So we've even tried to dabble into that experience, not only within like cover realm, but also our own songs. And a lot of bands do that really, but it's kind of like a thing that everyone kind of does now. That's the mashup idea, is just give them a little bit of everything all at once, and hopefully just blow it all out of the water, and that's a good method that kind of works out for us.
Do each one of you guys have a favorite cover that you guys like to perform?
Man.
No, like just a
Cover.
cover, like you guys like like doing a random.
That we do. I really like playing Mad World. That's one of my
Yeah, I like
favorites.
playing
Ooh, that's a
Metal
good one.
too.
I
Yeah,
was gonna say that's like
That's a
my
good
favorite.
one.
that's one of our newer or later.
That's all your
covers.
guys' favorite.
Well, almost.
I mean,
I'm
it's
trying to think of what else.
it's
I
a
do
fairly
like
newer
that.
one,
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
we've been playing that one just for a while. But
I love our renditions of the Tool songs we're kind of
Yeah,
working on
yeah.
there, and those kind of got
Can't go wrong
hung
with
out to
Tool.
dry for a moment. We were supposed to play this crazy Tool after party, and the whole thing kind of flopped. And we're like, no, but we had this arrangement of a few Tool songs that are just super rad, and like most people who heard that, like, and there's a couple other bands who've hit upon it, and it's just super cool to hear something so rhythmic and percussive become that in a more of a string kind of world, you know?
Yeah,
So I think I'm gonna go with Tool covers are my favorite.
nice.
Well, and that's part of the origin story of the band. I forgot to mention is like when me and Animal doing some acoustic things, working. We got Ricky in there, and it was sort of his idea. Man, let's do some different covers, and we're talking about Tool. That's such a great, And so we were gonna actually only do Tool covers. We were gonna be a Tool grass cover band
Oh, that's funny.
called Wrenchweed. And we learned half of we were going to learn every album song by song, and we started with Opiate, and we learned half of Opiate.
Yeah.
And eventually ended up learning almost the rest of it. But yeah, obviously that didn't take off, but we still peppered those Tool covers in throughout, and we still play one to this day. Out of all that list, we still play
Yeah.
one called Sweat.
sometimes another one.
Sometimes every once in a while we sneak in some.
Second or third one. There's two or three
Yeah,
that we do
there's
sometimes.
3. It's been a minute since we visited some of this.
Hey, we're gonna bust it out when they finally bust out something new. And then
Right.
once they bust out
We'll-
something new,
We'll put out a
learn
new
that in,
Tool
like,
Grass album when they put out.
We're going to cover their whole new album.
Well, he
Tool
puts out stuff, right? Maynard puts out new stuff all the
Yeah.
time.
It's not Tool
Yeah,
Grass.
his projects. Yeah.
You guys ever have his wine?
Yes.
He laid down 3/4 of
Have.
vocals on a song the other day. So
Hey man,
Working hard.
Maynard, if you're listening,
I wish.
we love you.
Whiskey for the Ladies coming at you with some love.
Watch out for our Tool Grass covers.
Watch out for him.
Right. Goodbye, Pussifer. What's his name? What's his band?
Pussifer.
Pussifer.
Yeah,
Yeah.
great music.
You
for
guys-
real.
Yeah, it is
totally
good. Yeah.
inspired us, but
Cool live show.
We cover one of their covers.
Yeah, actually, we do, yeah.
we do a double.
It's a cover.
Double
of their
cover.
cover.
Yeah.
Well, how does that work? Why isn't it
The
just
band covers a song. in
Well,
their own
because they
style,
took
and
it was an old punk song that they took and made country, and then we took their sort of country version and made it half country, half punk again.
Wait, which song is this?
World Up My Ass.
Yeah,
Oh, okay, yeah.
So it's a
We haven't played
Pussifer
that in a
redid
minute.
it slow, and then we sort of remixed it again. So we're covering their cover of an old song.
So before you guys have a show, you guys have everything scripted out, every single song. We're going from this to this to this to this.
We try.
Word by word, but oh wait, no.
Yes.
Tweety.
Nah.
We pretend.
I am usually writing
Yeah.
a set list in the van on the way to the show or at the show. before
Which
we
is
play.
like 75%.
And we'll mostly follow it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
pretty accurate.
So how does that work?
We have other set lists and we look at them.
But I
and
mean,
say,
like when
"I
you're
don't know, we'll
playing,
play that
like
song
how do
next."
you know what's next or
Just read
how?
the audience too, you know.
We've
Idea.
played together long enough. There's several songs that we can kind of pair together and kind of go right into other songs.
And you guys know every single because you just said wait
Yes.
which song is that? But if it came up, if you heard the noise of
No,
you
no,
know,
we
Yeah,
write
yeah.
them down.
Oh yeah.
Well,
And
no,
then
but
we
okay.
give
if
each other a list.
if somebody
That's
started
what I'm saying.
triggering a song by one or two notes, everyone goes, "Oh, that's what
you
we're
guys
going
all,
to."
but you guys like don't forget any song that you've.
Well, that's the
Not
goal.
really.
That's the point of
We
being
try
artistic.
not to.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Most
we
of the
don't-
time.
We don't read
We
sheet
can't give
music,
away
so-
all our secrets
Yeah.
about how we don't know half the
I'm
songs
not
that
asking.
we're playing.
Yeah.
But you know.
We're probably what 50, 60 songs that are on our list that we could bust out and no problem
yeah.
right now.
Whoa.
Yeah, probably.
50 or 60? You guys
Yeah.
all know 50 or 60 songs?
And-
like
Almost
Together.
half of those
Yeah.
being
Yeah,
our
together, like-
originals.
Yeah.
where you can actually make music together.
Oh yeah.
For
Yeah.
hours,
That's
if not
insane. Do you
multiple
guys
shows
ever
a week.
think about how crazy and insanely insane that is?
We try not to.
We've been doing
No,
it
really.
our
Like,
whole
have you ever?
life,
Do you
yeah.
ever just sit back
No,
and think?
it's pretty crazy.
It
That's
is
one of
no.
the
We've
brain
probably
knowledge.
we've probably forgot another 10 or 15.
Exactly.
Other than that,
Yeah.
too.
But
At least.
that 5 people can play just as soon as they hear a couple notes, they're on the same exact song of a huge library.
Yeah.
Doing it with 5 or 6 songs.
we hope there's enough muscle memory there that you remember it as you're trying
Yeah.
to remember.
But that's
it
more than-
as you're playing it.
That's more than
Yeah.
just muscle memory, though, right? That's,
It's a unique skill, and in some cases it takes years of development, and in other cases it's a natural thing. You can't really predict it. I've been playing since I was 8. Other individuals here have been playing since they were like young people as well. So when you're out on the stage in front of people that long of a period of time, plus being around skilled musicians greater than yourself, you learn some of their failures and some of their tricks along the way. And when you're, in front of a group of individuals who've already paid you some good, maybe, unless there's like no cover charge. But if they've paid to come and see it, your goal is always going to be
give them their money's worth.
Exactly. It's about their happiness. I mean, even though you may have had a crappy day when you're on stage, everything changes. It really does. It's like, I don't know.
For sure, I get that.
Yeah.
It's like trying to remember all the songs. It's like I'm trying to remember to keep smiling because it's like, again, the other guys are over there, paid to come see my happy ass pretend to be something special.
Yeah.
And it's like
you got to be on.
Yeah. So
I know.
Well, it's whether it's 2 kids or 2,000. We, as many bands say, and we are the same. We try to give that exact same intense, show or energy that you would expect.
Room, big group.
Yeah.
Same exact thing.
Yeah.
Playing my kit, somebody else's kit. Playing with a missing string, no string. It doesn't matter. Somebody else's bass. We've done many shows where the bass has gone out for whatever reason. Just mechanical issues with having acoustic instruments, And we've done shows with a completely different instrument. Yeah, and from his perspective, it's just like everything's muscle memory, and you grab a hold of somebody else's instrument, that's a completely different thing. It's like going from somebody's, Fiat to somebody's Ferrari, and you're like, whoa, or vice versa. You've got your muscle memory is not theirs.
Right.
So being able to pull that off, and we've had many shows that have just kind of been that, where his guitar strings a buster and borrow somebody's guitar. I mean, we've all literally borrowed other instrumentalists.
You forget your instrument altogether, and you have to go buy one.
You don't just bring extra strings
after the show.
Oh yeah, that's
But when you're breaking strings every other song,
damn,
you gotta kind of move on.
Frank's
Is that when you're
guitar
doing-
and humidity are not friends.
Yeah. When we play like
Why?
some of the
What's
outdoor festivals and stuff in the middle of the summer, and it's 98 degrees at night,
And you're just hammering hard?
humidity, the strings just start flying off.
The string gremlin only comes out during those
I am
parts.
Okay.
I am pretty heavy-handed.
Yeah.
I'm not a light player.
Yeah.
That's an understatement.
Yeah.
What was
you're
your
the only
music?
person I ever seen
What was
with
your
that
background
strings.
music before this group?
Do what?
What kind of music did you do before this?
The
group?
last band that I was in before this was a metal group.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then I played like a Sublime type band. Before
Yeah.
that I played bass in that. That was a lot of fun.
A what? Sublime?
Like a Sublime type band.
Ooh, I
played
love
bass
me
in
some
that.
Sublime.
Yeah.
Who doesn't?
It was kind of like a
that's
punk
fair.
Sublime type thing.
Sublime was punk, right?
They are at
Punk
times,
ska.
yeah. It's kind of
Punk
like
rock,
that. Yeah.
It's a hybrid of the same.
Yeah.
And
They were
then
like
I
a
had
90s punk.
A bunch of projects before that never really made it stage.
You guys do a Sublime cover?
We haven't.
We haven't yet.
Whoa.
We semi talked about it one time.
What would you do?
Gotta get the entire band
Not
stoned first.
Santa
and-
Rita.
No, not Santa
Not
Rita.
what I got.
I do love
No,
that.
no,
It has
no.
to be on
I
the
do love
same
both those
level.
songs.
That's
but that's
fine.
not.
Yeah.
That's kind of what he was saying earlier. Like
No,
we
no.
chose
Oh.
like songs that are kind of off, like not necessarily a B side particularly, but not one of the
Not
4
the
or
one you
5
hear on the
singles.
radio.
I thought they're not all A sides.
No, we very rarely choose the hit.
Yeah.
They're all hits. That's what I'm saying. They're all hits.
I mean, every once in a while that happens.
If you're a
but-
fan.
yeah.
Yeah, that's what you kind of hope for, though. Like, as going back to our set list idea is when you throw in a cover, you want to throw in something that is out there enough that we can enjoy it and make it something within ourselves, but someone else will really hook onto that. And then if his string were to break during a song, okay, he has to go change that string. What are we gonna switch up this song to this song maybe?
They
And
keep playing.
we
You
throw
don't,
in
you don't
all
have
those
5
God,
minutes
can
of
I
dead
break?
air.
Can I stop you guys for 1 second?
Yeah.
I was in my head singing a Sublime song this entire time and didn't hear a word you just said.
fair enough, dude.
I got the song for you guys.
Yeah.
Yeah, we actually recently
I got the
played out
Sublime
in-
cover to do for you.
Yeah, we played out in Arkansas, and a band called Dime Trip, I believe, threw out a Sublime cover, from what I understand, or maybe just one of those other Arkansas super cool groups. But yeah, man, it's you hear those things every now and again, you're just like, whoa, man, kind of throws you back to a certain memory maybe that you enjoy. So we'd maybe play some Sublime.
Fuck yeah.
It may come down the wire.
Phil's not into it.
I'm into it.
Look at his face.
It's just got to be the right song.
You don't like Sublime, Phil?
Oh, I love Sublime.
He's lying to you.
It's okay. I won't think any differently if
No, I
you
like
say you
Sublime.
don't like Sublime.
I'm old school. I probably liked it before all y'all.
Yeah.
He's that guy.
I am the
Yeah, right.
oldest
I know
one.
he is.
Once Band Terror became cool, I hated
Yeah,
them.
actually, I stopped liking them after everyone else started liking them. That's
Exactly.
it.
That is the struggle we have in this band. Is Phil and Frank never want to do anything that is popular,
That's true.
and Zach and I usually kind of do like popular stuff.
I mean,
And Ike's somewhere in between.
I'm indifferent. I'm always like, okay.
Good
It's
music's
one of those
good
brother
music.
husbands arguments we have.
If it's
Yeah.
popular, it's whatever. If it's good and popular, you can't help it.
Good
It's
and popular are two different things. But
Right.
yes.
See,
No, that's for
They
sure.
are,
There's a lot of
but
popular trash
we
out
always
there.
differ on what is good and popular at the same time.
Yeah, because
I don't
like
think we
certain
could
things that
ever-
maybe
yeah.
Mallory would be more familiar with, like to us, like usually me, Frank, Phil, Ike, all are familiar with a certain type of sound that Mal's like, wait, what? What is
Yeah, yeah,
this?
some-
And then,
Oh, they
likewise,
do that to me too.
like,
Yeah.
All
but
kinds
you know,
of
Mallory
bands.
and
I'm like, I don't
I.
even know who that is.
There's so much
and they're
music out
huge.
there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I was real excited when Zach came in just because now
Well, he
he's
was
the youngest
younger
person, and now
generation.
we like
Yeah,
can connect on like
Yeah.
yeah.
our generation's music a little
Certain
bit.
songs.
Well, how
but
old
then,
are you?
Like, they're
I'm
close
28.
enough.
24 and 28.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
How-
like the age range
36
really helps.
tomorrow.
in sound,
36
you know?
tomorrow. Hey, happy birthday tomorrow. Phil,
birthday to Frank.
I'm
38,
the oldest member
38?
of the band at 39 and a half.
39 and a half.
Ike's 38.
He's a year younger than me, yeah.
Yeah.
So we go all the way from 24 to almost 40. So,
So I would talk about stuff with these guys forever, and they'd be like, "What? No," and they'd just like stop listening to me. Maybe
We're
if
like,
I was
"That's some
talking
little
about
kid stuff."
something.
Yeah.
Something cool that I thought was cool, and then now Zach and I can agree on some of that
Justin
stuff.
Bieber.
Yeah, Justin Bieber.
Justin Bieber's a talented dude.
Yeah.
Like he's actually
can
like
dance.
the dude. No,
Yeah.
he can play the drums.
Yeah.
Dude can play the shit out of the drums, and he can sing.
Oh.
He can sing. That guy is the songbird of his generation.
can,
You watch. He can
But
sing.
I won't
Justin
allow
Bieber-
it in my vicinity.
I'm not gonna say like Justin Bieber is not my generation though, or Zach's generation. Maybe
Yeah.
closer to yours.
Like partially into mine, but enough to where I was old enough to where I was like, man, I'm not. No. And
Did I
still to
just
this
leave
day,
the room and
I can
house
respect
Bieber?
talents for what they are.
Yeah, we're talking Bieber.
Yeah.
But
My
I mean,
generation is
I don't know.
Timberlake.
I guess if my
I know, man.
mishaps were in the
What's wrong with
limelight,
Bieber?
people wouldn't like me either.
Nothing.
He's talented. He's a very good singer, and he's a very good drummer.
That's what they say about Trump.
And he's second cutest to
Yeah, that's
Ike.
what they
Good
say
singer
about
and just a
John.
good drummer.
I'm not saying I like the dude. I'm just saying the dude's got some talent, and I recognize it.
Well, that's
Sure,
how he got
that's
famous because
fair.
he was
Right.
an 11-year-old kid who
YouTube
could dance and
guy.
sing really
Yeah,
well.
the
And
YouTube got him.
He had talent.
He was
Yeah.
third in line for bass before
But he
you
doesn't
know,
have
and they're
much
like, Zach, you still kind of got the hair.
smarts.
You can
Guess
get
you're
some
gonna work.
tattoos. It'll work out. It'll work out.
You want
just
another beer?
Can't have all that
Ike?
money.
I can get whatever's in
You
there.
want
I
another
don't.
light
I don't know
there?
what's
I'll
left.
take what is closest to you.
I'll take something as well. This is how I run my podcast. I have my guests get me
Champagne.
my beer.
Oh, yeah.
Champagne beers.
What I bought it. I'll drink. I'll drink what I buy.
Switching it up.
I won't like it, but I'll drink it. I like the 5.9% ABV. I guess. It's a
This
step down.
message is brought to you by Miller High Life. Have yourself one.
Holy shit!
Oh, wow.
You want to do my intro for my song or for my podcast?
Absolutely.
You tell me when, I'll be glad to do it.
Right now.
But I'll talk like a normal person now.
No, it's not what we hired you for.
Oh,
No, quick, whack him on the head, and he'll be stuck that way at least to the end of this.
dude, I am not Batty Coda from like Fern Gully, man. Anybody-
Fern Gully.
Yeah,
Fern Gully.
Fern Gully was even better the second time when it was called Avatar.
Yeah, basically.
That's
Yeah.
totally true. I noticed.
And now they're making 4 more Avatar movies. Just so
Yeah.
you know.
Do you know
Bleeding
that there
July.
is a legit thing called Avatar depression?
Hmm.
So after when Avatar, because that was like the first big 3D, colorful,
Biggest movie of all time. at that
immersive
point.
movie, like it was pushed hard in IMAX and the whole 3D thing. People were going into this world, quote unquote, the movie world of Avatar, and coming out and they were depressed that the world, that the real world wasn't as bright and as beautiful and as like cool.
This is why they should
as the
have
Avatar
psychedelics
world.
for sale at the corner market.
Not only that, it's like, have you
Always be
no
living in
imagination?
Avatar.
Like, what's inside my brain's way cooler than what I have to deal with a lot of the times. But
I got a new
like,
slogan. Mushrooms, they're not just for pizza.
but you can put them on pizza, and it's way easier to eat that way.
It's true.
I
You
heard.
could live in the
I
Avatar
never,
world, too.
I never consumed. I always regurgitated.
I can neither confirm nor deny any of my knowledge of any food.
I've
They're
eaten.
always boring, guys.
I've eaten psilocybin mushrooms.
Fun.
Love them. I think they taste delicious.
They have a unique flavor.
I like them. I understand how you wouldn't, but I do like them.
No.
I don't like the compost part that you get.
You don't
with
like
the
them,
grit.
Czar?
Tastes like shit.
It's because they're
They're
growing.
growers.
they're-
I was gonna say, it's a compost. Man. That's what it's called, manure. Fancy word in the country.
Yeah. I mean, it's been an extremely long time since I do it. The statute of limitations has surely surpassed.
You'd hope so. I mean,
No, I know, so that's why I'm talking about
all right, cool.
Well, we'll find
Me too.
out
Then.
later.
Yeah, me too.
it. Yeah.
Yeah, man, and that's kind of another
Go
scene of
Oregon.
things that is kind of tied into our music. Is a lot of people who
Psychedelic?
are like our
Yes,
music
actually.
is psychedelic type of music.
A lot of
and
tie-dyes,
whether or
tie-dye
not-
shirts at your shows.
Dude,
There's tie-dye.
Yeah,
we,
like
we are in some way we're all independently hippie-ish, but a certain percentage of this group has been as close to that edge as you're ever gonna want to get, and
The
it's a
hippie
lot of
edge?
fun. Oh yeah, dude. Yeah, the exploring the
You guys
outer
don't
edges,
look
man.
as hippie of.
Funny, huh?
Should have seen
You
me.
got. I
a
mean,
few months ago,
Yeah.
man,
Really?
I had a few dreadlocks and
really?
yeah, and then
Well, thank you guys for showering before coming over here.
hey,
Know
that's
what
just
that
deodorant layered on top of not
Nat-
showering.
Natural deodorant, I'm
Don't
sure.
be,
I think I shower the most.
don't be fooled.
You're probably right.
Probably. The
Because
most
you
It's
guys
a fair
have
assumption.
all of
I
your
would
bills
hope
paid.
so.
already.
How often is most?
Every other day.
Every other day,
Not
that's
every
perfect.
day that
Don't-
dries out your skin. You know?
I
It's
think-
not
Screws
I don't know.
Oh, then I shower the most because I'm definitely every day.
Every day's
I
bad.
come home
Phil-
from work really.
Phil
not
needs-
Oh
ready.
yeah, but I don't do like a laboring job.
Right,
I don't
and
come
I'm
home
coming
from
home
work
dusty
sweaty.
and dirty, and my beard's like
Yeah.
stuck to the side.
To your standards, I would have to take a shower every 10 minutes at work.
Yeah. Yeah.
So you're
Frank's
doing
totally gets all nice and nasty working on them cars. But shit.
All right, so I don't shower the most, but I probably am the cleanest.
Well, of course.
There you go. We'll go with that statement.
And with probably most likely past record, criminal record, college record. Any record.
I have all the records,
They're all clean.
but
they're
not
all
a
good.
criminal record.
Yeah.
I've never had a criminal
There is this.
My criminal
there's
record
this,
went
like,
triple platinum.
website though. I can't think of what it's called. It's like me.com or whatever. You type
Me.com?
You type your name into Google and you can like find it, and like any information you've ever put on the internet is on this website, and it says I have a criminal record on that website.
Someone with your same name, I'm sure.
No,
that
it's
same
me.
thing
It's like
happens.
all my information, and I have
It's
to pay
totally
them.
Then you have to
So
pay
I
them
have
to
to-
see
Oh,
what
it says
it
scam
is.
website.
Yeah, I have to pay them to see what's on my criminal
It's-
record.
That's
Have you ever
hilarious.
done- have
And
you
like
ever
just
done
took your
parking?
IP address or something.
Have
It
you
was
ever had a
like,
parking
yep,
ticket?
Mallory Edson,
Yeah.
bad girl.
Okay, there you go.
No, it's like an arrest record. It's listed in there.
So people are like, "Oh my God, what did I do that I don't remember? It better pay $30." Find out what it
It's
is.
one of those you have to pay them to get all your information.
I
so
might be in
there,
trouble.
So that's why you don't get blackout drunk anymore.
Ah, scam
You
website.
just don't remember what
I don't
happened.
remember.
You don't
I might get
remember?
arrested and I might not know about it.
It was probably like a backflip out of a chair that led to a TV going out of a window on the first time we were trying to be actually punked.
And I
First
don't
time we tried to be
remember it at all.
punk led to a lawsuit. We're not punk anymore.
But if someone could go to me.com and pay off Mallory's dues,
That'd be awesome.
we'll
So we can
appreciate
find out
that.
what that's
Thank you
It's
very
far
much.
to
we
go
can get that
fund me.
important gig.
Go
Go fund me for
cage
Mallory.
cleared.
And
They
there's
won't
not
let
gonna
us
be
play the
any
Midland
record,
because
we're
of
just
her
gonna
criminal
say,
record.
In parentheses, potential, or payment for the future exploits of.
What's the biggest place you guys have ever played? For how many people?
We've probably done a couple thousand at a festival somewhere. I
Mhm.
feel
Cool.
like there's been at least.
I think the loudest open air that we weren't directly in control of, but the amount of people that would have been around would have been possibly Wakarusa. There was just so many people.
Wakarusa, I know that one.
Yeah,
Within
Walker
earshot.
said
That's not here anymore. They moved
No.
it.
It's not even a
It's
festival.
not moved anymore.
no longer. But
Is it
they-
around anymore at all? It's gone.
Yeah, out at Mulberry Mountain now they have the Backwoods Festival, which
Get
we
me on
hope
those
to
ways.
one day
We
get
will
on
be.
that. The lineup this
we will.
year is
Love
just
those guys.
insane. I'm loving all the music they have there. It's on a beautiful location. Like those were my first few major festivals was out on that land.
Who was the last Wakarusa? There was a big name. And so, was
Did we play the last
Buckethead?
Walkers?
We
No.
played
No,
the
we played the
second
second to
last.
last Walker.
Yeah.
So.
I don't remember.
We unfortunately were.
I thought Buckethead was at one of them.
He definitely played several. He was he was
Primus
the first
did
one
one?
I ever saw, which was.
You
in
guys
Los
do a
Angeles.
Primus cover?
We do a little bit of Primus.
We did a Primus cover at one point. In
I've got
time.
that
I don't know
mandolin
if we
cover,
ever
and then
made it to stage. We were working on one at one time.
Yeah.
Which one?
We're gonna do a Winona's Big Brown Beaver mashup with.
Wait a minute, you guys
Chicken
just said you
Train.
don't
Chicken
want to.
Train.
You don't want to
Yeah.
do the big A side stuff.
We don't usually know.
Well, and that's
why
we
did say all the
we were
time.
mashing it up.
That's
Right.
why
And
Ashton
for
went
Primus,
with
it's all
chicken.
We were
brown
doing
side.
it because
Right.
we could mash it up with another song.
I gotcha.
It was gonna wind
No,
up
that's a
being
good. That's a good one. Everybody knows that one.
It's gonna be the big brown beaver train.
I mean, as a bass player, it's super fun to do, regardless.
Any Primus songs for a bass player.
Yeah,
right?
exactly. And transcribing that onto the
song.
upright
Yeah.
is super fun. You get this kind of that twangy sound that I liked when he did the duo to twang with that slide player. Man, it's like just
Yeah, you must love some Primus, right? Do
We-
all
That's
bass
to say the
players?
least.
We're
All
all
bass
fans.
players have to
We're all
love
big
Primus.
fans.
It's
Yeah.
paying your dues. Is
I was a
listening to
big
at least
fan.
3
People,
Primus albums.
it wasn't cool to be a fan of it back when I was growing up.
No, that's what was great.
I had a poster in my room of Primus. They were on an iceberg dressed in penguin suits.
My cousin Jason had pork soda.
Nice.
Or it was a Sea of Cheese. Either one. I just know that he had both of those albums, so I don't know which time period either one came out, but I know whenever the last of those, it doesn't really matter. That was the time period that I first heard the band. Blew my mind. I was
Right.
in a completely different world at the time. Not
Yeah.
even going to get into that whole entire side of things. It was totally sheltered, had no contact to real good music. This guy puts us in front of me. I thought he was joking at first. I didn't get it. And I asked him. I
Was it Brown Beaver? Was that the first?
No, it was one of the. I
Okay.
think it was one of the Sea of Cheese. I actually.
Oh,
think it was
okay.
the Sea of Cheese, you know.
Yeah, that was.
And,
Sailing the Seas of Cheese.
yeah, and I swear I had never heard music orchestrated like this, and I thought it was a joke. And I looked at him, and I'm like, haha. And he goes, "No, here, look." And I look at him like they're doing this on purpose.
Yeah.
Like this is intentional. And he's like, "Just shut up and listen to the music." I'm like, okay. I'm like a little kid at the time. I
Right.
didn't get it.
Is this on purpose?
Man, I tell you what, in hearing, of course, Les with the way he played that bass and the way
Right.
that those lines lined up with Alex, the drummer. I mean Tim Alexander. When it lined up with Tim, sorry. You know, it started with Alex, and I see A first.
You
I
made
gotcha.
it. You made it.
Yeah, you're
You know, I made it
Yeah.
there. The stairwell I fell down was only about 2 stairs. That's okay. But no, the way those two lined up was a creative input into me when I was much younger. As
Yeah.
far as the drumming aspect was concerned, I tried to mimic one of the parts. I think it is Big Brown Beaver, where Tim is doing a triplet or a quad with his double pedal. Anyways, I did not understand what he was doing. I was hearing sounds that I couldn't
Produce,
articulate.
yeah.
So I had headphones and my drum kit, and I'm trying to sound like the dude. Wasn't until I saw a live video back, like when DVDs had finally
Yeah.
come into existence, that I saw what he was actually doing, and he's doing literally one pedal. All the other that was Claypool.
Right.
I was confused, thinking that the bass
Yeah.
drum was Claypool, and the way he was playing, it just
Wow.
threw me off. It was for years. I had no clue.
That's funny.
So inadvertently, I learned to play some of my drum licks from thinking that half of the tones that Claypool was playing were
We're drum
Alexander's.
ones.
I'm
Wow.
not joking. It was
Wow.
naive my ass.
Interesting.
And I know a little bit about the band.
A little bit. So you said you play the same for if it's 2,000 people or 2 people.
Yeah.
There's 2 people in this room. You guys want to play for us?
Yeah.
Yeah.
We could do you a couple songs real quick. Give you a little flavor.
Yeah.
Little
I'd
flavor
love
sample.
to hear. I'd love to hear this stuff.
Sweet. Yeah. Let's take a little pause and we'll get set
Yeah,
up here.
we'll pause.
Yeah.
Yeah, we can just go ahead and stop. Here we go. These guys are going to warm up, I think, do some stuff. Whiskey Fillet is going to perform. Enjoy the show. And for the podcast listeners, you guys are going to enjoy this.
Tonight, hoping my baby is doing alright. Hoping my baby is doing alright. We had little fights, so she took a ride and left me right alone. I'm getting worried 'cause the ball it buries us. That was 6 hours ago. lay down my head and I cry to rest, but I only sing this song. Restless tonight, alone in this fright. My baby, she's out on the road. No easy inside, so I stay inside and I sit and I watch it snow. Restless tonight, hoping my baby is doing alright. Hoping my baby is doing alright. Do alright now. Restless tonight, alone in this fright. My baby, she's out on the road. No peace inside, so I stay inside and I sit and I watch it snow. Restless tonight, hoping my baby is doing alright. Hoping my baby is doing alright. Hoping my baby is doing alright.
Yeah.
Taste of the whiskey.
Yeah, I like that.
Yep.
That is bumping, you guys.
Now we'll do that
Holy
cover
cow.
song you requested.
What did I request? Which
You'll
one?
see in about
I
5
just said a cover song.
Oh,
You guys
no,
know
you
what's
requested
up.
one unconsciously.
Yeah, we call these ones burners.
Okay, yeah, we're gonna roll.
Yeah, we're just
You might
gonna
want to pull that up
pull it up a little bit.
higher for voices.
Alrighty, cool. All around me are familiar faces, worn out faces, bright and dirty from the daily races, going nowhere. In the tears of filling up their glasses, no expression, no
guitar. Give him some love. There's 2 of us here. We have 2 guys that clap.
Thank you, 2,000 people. Oh, I didn't even notice. It was only 2.
Yeah, man.
Yeah. Dude, that was the shit.
Thank you.
Now I see why that guy comes to Lawrence every time you guys are out there. Damn.
Now you're going to come to Lawrence every time.
No, I'm not going to Lawrence every time, but I'll see you guys around here.
Fair enough. Deal. Yeah.
He'll take that.
Hell yeah.
Keep it local, I suppose.
Yeah.
Well, thanks for having us, man.
Thank you guys so much for being here. I had an incredible time. How is the best way for people to find your guys' stuff? If everyone wants to get up to that mic and kind of like pimp your stuff, like who wants to do it?
Yeah. Well, we have a website. It's whiskyforthelady.com.
Easy enough.
Very
Whiskyforthelady.com.
easy. Yeah. Whiskey for the Lady, singular.
Right.
Not my lady. It's the lady. We get that a lot too. We're also on Facebook and Instagram, and then all of our music's on Spotify and iTunes, so you can buy it there on iTunes. Also on YouTube, we've got a music video on YouTube actually for Smarmosh, so something we want everyone to check out.
We can check out a video, a music video.
Super video too.
Oh yeah, super top secret video.
A super top secret video.
If you just go to our YouTube channel.
Just go to your YouTube channel, Whiskey for the Lady.
Yep.
At the YouTube is that?
Yeah, Whiskey for the Lady. Everything is Whiskey for the Lady.
Man,
so
you guys were awesome.
Got that.
Thank you guys. I appreciate you guys all coming all the way out here and doing this. Yeah, everybody go find Whiskey for the Lady. Thank you guys all for listening and watching, however it is.
Listen to Neanderthal.